Hey,
Recording is here!
Yeah, that it is, Jace. I'm Josh.
I'm Jace.
I just said your name. We're watching a Nostalgia Critic video because a lot of people really liked it when we reacted to Nostalgia Critic, The Last Airbender.
So let's do more Last Airbender.
Nostalgia Critic. Well, yeah, for Last Airbender. We're going to do... This is the top 11 worst episodes of Avatar.
And then we're going to follow this video up with the top 11 best episodes.
Yes. I feel like if we went to the comments of like his actual YouTube video, we could he get some flame for the like how dare you? Avatar's the best show in the world.
We'll take a look at that. Why not? We'll take a look.
I took notes. I actually know I made a list, and it's a very short list.
Your own personal.
Well, I didn't want to. It was really hard for me to put. I only have 3 here. I don't even need the list because I can just remember it. 3 episodes that I actively dislike. There are some episodes where if you look at it from a certain point of view, I want to dislike it, but I feel like there's like more themes to it, like that episode where Aang is just tripping out over stuff with the Fire Lord. I think that's a really weird fucking episode.
It's funny as shit though.
It's fucking batshit. And I mean, I don't necessarily like it. I kind of would have preferred like a more serious kind of episode.
I'm sorry, I love that episode. You cannot change my mind.
Like a lot of like the 3 I have written down are. Well, the Great Divide, because of course. Do I need to explain?
Yeah.
Okay, and then the other one I don't like. I don't know how you feel about these other 2, but Emily, Emily loves this episode. The Tunnel of Two Lovers. You know, Secret Tunnel. I fucking hate that episode.
I'm not a fan of that one.
And it's
I'm neutral about that one.
And then the other one I hate is Avatar Day.
Ah.
The only thing good I can say about it is that like there's 2 really standout moments for me. Is that when Aang comes out dressed as Kyoshi and he's like
and actually becomes
before that he's like, "Hi everybody, I'm Avatar Kyoshi. I'm a sexy lady." And then boom becomes Avatar Kyoshi, and then we see like the crazy like she splits the ground and makes Kyoshi Island. I'm like, that was fucking cool, but the rest of it is just dumb. So those are 3 of them I fully expect to see on this list.
All right, then.
Like I feel like I should defend myself.
I'm more in the. I mean, I haven't really defined for myself my own personal opinion of worst episodes and best episodes. So
I need to say one more thing about Avatar Day before I forget. The reason another personal reason. This is a personal thing. I don't like it is because I'm editing these. I just edited Avatar Day. It was a pain because it's the episode right before the Blind Bandit, and that's a good fucking episode. I want to edit that episode, not this one. It's like fuck you. Okay, I'm done. You can continue. So
as I was saying, I have not chosen best and worst episodes for myself. Like I haven't definitively made those decisions. I mean, I could probably just spitball and make some choices right off the bat. But I haven't definitively made any choices. So for me, this is more going to be like, oh yeah, I agree. And be like, there's also this thing. I mean, there's also this thing in that episode, but I can kind of appreciate it. It's that kind of thing.
I mean, I'll say this though. I feel like this is going to come up. A lot of people hate the episode Bato of the Water Tribe. And I get it. But I also really fucking love that fight scene at the end where Appa shows up.
Appa's a badass!
And even with Aang and Zuko fighting, they're doing like the thing over like the well and everything. And then they're shooting fire and air at each other, making explosions. That was so cool. And the Appa fight, but the rest of the episode, I'm like, yeah. I get why people don't like it. But they say it's like a huge like deterring character for Aang and everything. Like, why is he acting like that? That's not what Aang would do. All right, you ready?
I am ready.
All right. Play it.
Play the video.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy. Remember it so you don't have to. If there's anything
He did my head shaking
the
thing.
Last Airbender has taught us is that there's a yin to every yang. For every good, there is a bad, and it's our duty to acknowledge them.
I didn't like this episode either.
Considering
Northern Air
Avatar is
Temple, I
my
didn't like
favorite
it.
show of all time, it only makes sense in honor of this philosophy to go over what many of you would probably see as a controversial issue. That, of course, being the bad episodes of Avatar. For no particular reason, I will now dunk.
For no particular
Let me go
reason.
into a little bit more detail. In my opinion, there's really no such thing as a bad episode of Avatar. Even the weakest episodes have something of value and worth that goes beyond what's presented in most family-friendly shows. But
this is
if
true.
we want to acknowledge the best, it also makes sense to acknowledge the worst, so we can figure out how to continually make the arc grow stronger. So, I see no fault in looking over the not bad, but just not as good episodes of one of the greatest TV shows of all time.
Critic, are you sure that's wise?
Look, we're all adults, and we're going to talk about this in an adult way. So what's the problem?
Just that when people see the word worst in the title, they might think the wrong thing.
Well, that's technically what it is, isn't it? The worst of the best? I'm not afraid of a bunch of fanboys and fangirls, especially for a franchise I love so much.
Okay.
Shame your life had to end this
They
way.
warned you.
I'll be fine, thanks. So, without further ado,
Oh.
do you mind? I can hear you all the way in here.
What is this?
Even
Fuck.
bigger shade.
They're shaming him.
Like I was saying, we're gonna look at the top 11 not as good episodes of an all-around great series. Why top 11? Because I like to go one step beyond. So, sit back and
One
enjoy
more
the
than top 10.
11 technically worst episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
No!
No,
Oh,
they're booing
it's just
him.
a meme.
They're not booing.
It's just a meme. Okay,
I didn't
it's
think,
just a meme.
I couldn't even. My brain didn't process that because I'm like, there's no way you can call that. Love this episode.
Boiling Rock, Part 1. In this
What?
episode,
What?
Zuka and Sokka try to break out the prisoners from their failed invasion by getting captured themselves and working with Suki to find a way out. In all fairness, very little is wrong with the premise, the development, and even the kick-ass action scenes that come from it. The problem is minor, but still a noticeable one. That being, why is there a Part 1 at all? Seriously, this could have been just one episode. In fact, if it was, it could have possibly been the most tightly written, action-packed one there ever was. But instead,
a really good
we
point.
get time dedicated to planning an escape from the prison, putting that plan into motion, and ultimately having it fail. Which, of course, leads to the second planning of an escape from the prison and a second attempt to put it into motion.
Oh, that is a
That
really good
succeeds,
point.
But, well, why the hell didn't they just edit the first one out then? Were they just short an episode so they decided to stretch one out a little more? Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of character, there's a lot of development, it furthers the story, but I think all of that probably could have been fit into one episode. Maybe with just a tiny cut here or there. I guess in some respects it's a bit more realistic not to have the first attempt succeed, but it's also realistic that Appa would most likely eat Momo at some point. But that doesn't mean I want to see it.
Appa
When the
ate
episode finally
Momo.
does get going with the real plan in part 2, it's great. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, hell yeah.
Just seeing through part 1 that isn't bad, but isn't necessary either. Probably a nitpick, but like I said, this is the worst of the best, so you'll probably see a couple more.
You happy now? I'm never happy.
Jesus Christ. Zuko. I love you, Zuko.
Number 10. The Serpent's Pass.
Really?
Team Avatar has to pass through a dangerous route to get to the city of Ba Sing Se. After agreeing to take a pregnant couple with them and being reunited with Suki, the team try their best not to get gobbled up by a giant beast while also working out their emotional problems. Again, not a bad premise, but the emotional problems they're working through just aren't as engaging compared to other episodes. For example, Sokka gets overprotective of Suki because he has lost a loved one before. But we know how it's gonna end, right? He eases up as she convinces him that she can take care of herself.
Oh, but that kiss, though.
Just by getting captured later. But come on, that was like setting up bowling pins.
Oh,
And
come
he's still
on.
dealing with the loss of Appa, but we got a lot of that in a much more intense episode prior. So again, it just kind of feels like leftovers.
That is
Heck, even
true.
Zuko's problem seems pretty mundane. Just trying to get more food with Jet's gang on a ferry. Honor? Not that these are bad problems.
That is
to
true
focus
in the
on.
grand scheme of in the grand scheme of things. That's like, huh?
In a mother giving birth, it's just kind of a slow one. Even the serpent, compared to all the other great designs they've had on the show, is not especially that memorable. I mean, what was the combination of animals on that one? The dragon from Zelda 2 with a novelty map? By no means awful, but even as the slower episodes go, this one just felt really slow. I guess if that was the intention of the episode, it definitely worked.
Nothing major.
I don't strongly disagree.
Number 9.
Ooh, go back to the Fire Nation.
Fresh off the
What? Okay, fine.
Jet has a great moral
Oh, yeah.
and great payoff.
He
Yeah.
did. I didn't like him.
Kind of a less than thrilling character to do it with. Jet on the surface seems interesting enough. He's like a young Robin Hood trying to teach the Fire Nation a lesson, but goes too far when he tries to take out innocent civilians. This creates some interesting baggage for the character, but for the most part, he's just kind of a good-looking thief. He's there to throw another wrench into Aang and Katara's romance and mostly just be a good-looking foil. It's not that he has no
That was
character,
stupid, by the way.
It was stupid.
Again,
That fucking, like, filter
it's not that
effect
he's
as
annoying
they're
or
going
unpleasant,
up
it's
into the
just-
trees.
You've seen the good-looking hero who it turns out is not the hero and has a stubborn side.
Of course he's evil.
Never
You've
going to
you
change.
seen those
Most
eyebrows?
of us know it's coming, and we're just kind of waiting for it to take its course. While the moral it teaches about innocents caught in the crossfires of war is certainly a strong one, I do wish there was a slightly better character to get it across with. If he was even more memorable, maybe this could have been an even bigger deal. The kid equivalent of Magneto or something.
Ooh.
As is, he's
Oh.
not bad. But like the episode proved, he's certainly not everything he was built up to be.
I liked him better in book
Doesn't
2.
seem fair, does it?
Boo!
Cave of Two Lovers.
Yes!
The romance on Avatar
Yes!
has always been one of the weaker points. At least for Aang and Katara, anyway. It's not that I can't see them together, it's that we have to go through a lot of the same cliches we've gotten in other romances.
Oh,
where
that's
they'll
actually
always
true.
Be overly awkward, which leads to a misunderstanding, which leads to them being angry at each other, and of course
Oh,
leads
yes,
to them both
yes.
realizing they were wrong.
Thank you for
Directed by
fueling
Gary
this
Marshall,
fire.
And we got a wrap. In
Oh,
this
come on.
episode, we go through most of that in a setting called the Cave of Two Lovers. On the one hand, I'm kind
Yeah,
of
now you
glad
think about
all
it, that's
romantic
kind of
comedy
pushing
cliches
it.
were kind of gotten out in this one episode. But still, I don't think you needed them to begin with. Falling in love is interesting enough without having to feel you always have to throw in this constant bickering. This continuing formula of the couple that argues all the time but then somehow gets together in the end. I mean, why does there have to be so much bickering in so many romances? Don't they know that's what marriage is for? We all know they're going to get together, so I never got why they tried to drag it out as long as they did. They can get together early on, there's nothing wrong with it. Have them be a couple afterwards, work through relationship stuff that would happen after you decide.
Oh my
to-
god, don't even get me started
Couple
with
other areas to
like
go with
rom-com
this.
anime.
And granted, it's not Office bad, but it has those romantic comedy trademarks that Avatar just seems to be above. But still, when a nice scene does play out, it does seem
I do like that.
legitimately nice, and we
That's a
do
nice
see
scene.
Sokka deal with this world's interpretation of
Hippies.
hippies.
Yes!
But I
Fuck the
think
hippies.
Couple can definitely be strong enough without the Julia
This
Roberts.
video is making me stronger.
And God help you if you actually make Katara laugh that way. Number 7.
Whew, I need a cigarette after that one.
The Water-Bending Master. After making their way
Wait, really?
to the Northern Water Tribe, Katara is
What
horrified
the
to
heck?
discover that they don't teach women and girls how to fight, but only how to heal. So she faces off with the prejudice of
Oh, that's what they're going
masters
with?
to show sisters are doing it for themselves. I never know how to feel about episodes like this. On the one hand, yeah, there's always going to be people or cultures who are going to be prejudiced about anything. Gender, race, appearance, whatever. So it makes sense to stand up against that. On the other hand, isn't the message done better if instead of preaching about what you want to see, you just show it? Growing up as a little boy, I always loved Gosling from Darkwing Duck and Babs from Tiny Toons. I didn't care that they were girls, and that's because the show didn't care either. They were just funny characters that were part of the group, so I never had any problem with them. However, when the trope of girls proving they can do what boys can do comes in, I always feel
That is a
like
really
it's
good
making
point.
the character more a statistic than a person.
That's
And
true.
Katara is definitely not that.
Oh, yeah,
Neither her gender
they've-
nor any prejudice
people have said that this
her
show
identity.
ma-
So this plotline
is-
didn't seem as
does a really good job of teaching
As a
us
kid, even the people
about
who
real
love
world
you
things
accept
when we're
something,
kids
it's more
that we
likely
would
you're gonna
have to deal with
accept
as
it too.
adults.
But again, on the other
How is
hand,
this not
we do
teaching
know
us
all
about
this
sexism?
bullshit
I'll
does
tell you what I
happen
was
in the
thinking when I
world,
was
and
watching
there's
this
always going
episode,
to be
when the video's
evil
over.
douchebags out there who enforce it, so it's probably good to be prepared for it, right?
Yeah,
It's
that's
hard
true.
to say what the best route to take is, but with this episode, we all know exactly what that route is going to be. She's going to win him over, and of course, he's going to teach her in the end. Even if you are going to take this road, isn't there a slightly different way you could do it? Some variation, something we didn't see coming? Oh well, we did get some great water-bending action, great shots of the city.
Oh my god, the
and
animation on that
hey,
water in
they're
that
still
episode was
being great characters,
amazing.
Being great characters. I guess all I'm looking for is a little bit more variety in the message, or at least the teaching of the message. But again, I still got to see Katara do what Katara does, and it's pretty awesome. So I can't complain too hard.
You can't knock me down. Go, Katara!
6. Sokka's Master. This
What?
had
No!
with the last one. Only this time it's a bit of a different prejudice. Sokka feels bad because he's not a bender like Aang, Katara, or Toph. Because of this, he feels totally useless. So he finds a master to teach
I think I
him
said
the
this
art
to you.
of sword fighting and being a great fighter. He even manages to put a sword made from a meteorite together. So now he never has to feel left out ever again. The strange thing about this episode is that through the previous seasons, they've tried to convince us Sokka had a point. And in my opinion, they succeeded. Sokka was more than just the comic relief. He was the idea guy, the one who thought out of the box, the one who at times could be a little too nutty, but always came through with what he needed to come through with.
They were so bored without
He
him.
had a weapon, his trusty boomerang, and we all associated it with him. So the idea of acting like he had no part in everything that was going on didn't seem necessary. He was important, not just for laughs, but for strategic planning. And he was good at it. Great even. So this whole episode about him trying to feel redeemed and valuable didn't really pay off because we already thought he was. Again, it's drawing attention to a prejudice you probably weren't prejudiced against and possibly didn't even know was a thing. Sokka's fine, no improvements needed. It's almost like the creators were anticipating a backlash for him that, as far as I know, never came. Who can't love Sokka? Sokka's great. Never change for anyone, big guy. Keep it real.
Water tribe.
What a trap. What happened? What happened?
Number 5.
You love that episode.
The Swamp. A lot of things.
Oh, yeah, I should have put this on my list. I didn't like it.
Some don't turn out coming very far. The team is lost in a swamp that gives visions of the past, present, and even future. While trying to figure out what it means, they're also trying to outrun a couple of swamp rats who want to eat their animal companions for dinner. The ending is definitely interesting as it delivers a message about how all things are connected, and to its credit in a very creative way. But there's one major problem. You're in the swamp! A disgusting, dark, bug-filled, gloomy-ass swamp! Who the hell wants to be in a swamp?
Ew.
That isn't any fun. Couldn't this be in like a nice forest or a creepy forest or I don't know, it's just anything but a swamp? Do we really have to focus on this world's version of Duck Dynasty? I think we can
Oh, God.
that. We also get the return of Zuko as the Blue Spirit, as well as haunting memories
Yeah, but like the
of
last
Katara and
last
Sokka's
minute of the
past,
episode
but
is
none of
Zuko.
them seem to especially go far in the long run. The only thing that really plays a big part is Aang seeing a vision of Toph, who would eventually become his earthbending teacher. But aside from that, we're just stuck in this.
Yeah, I
nasty-ass
think I said
swamp.
that.
And don't get me wrong, I know a lot of it is don't judge a book by its cover, and honestly, they did get a lot more wisdom and entertainment than I would have thought they would have in this environment, but yeah, the Avatar version of Deliverance, not a fan.
Number 4.
The Painted Lady.
I was just thinking of that. I was like, they were getting preachy.
Yeah, this one wasn't good.
Anything is going to be about the environment. And yes, the environment is important, save the earth, all that good stuff, but let's face it, guys, it's so rarely done well. Truth be
Oh,
told, there's
no,
only two
yeah.
family-related shows I can think of that handled it with any subtlety or intelligence. Sonic the Hedgehog, I'm not even joking, there actually is a subtle environment message in there, much better than that other show. And of course, Avatar. The whole show definitely has a strong tie to nature. Hell, the nations are named after the 4 elements. But it was never rubbed too much in your face. That is, with the exception of this.
Ooh.
While no way as bad as other
What is it,
environmental
eco-terrorism they're
messages,
doing by
why did the
destroying
show
this
feel
factory?
they needed one addressing pollution and saving the earth. The show's already kind of been doing that with its subtlety, hasn't it? Katara is concerned because while they're not supposed to interfere with the Fire Nation yet, a village is starving and losing their home to pollution. So she disguises herself as the spirit of the river known as the Painted Lady to feed and heal all those who need it. It brings up a good debate on how far does one go before interfering with other cultures, but like many of you, when you see a big bad factory spewing sludge and young kids who control the elements try to help,
Oh,
I only
no.
think of one thing.
Fire! Wind! Water! Heart. Oh.
Again, as most environmental episodes of family shows go,
As soon as he said, like, kids controlling the elements, I was like, oh no, I figured it out.
Naturally giving us all this
Captain
time,
Planet.
This one's
Yeah.
just a hint too obvious.
You wouldn't mind keeping that a secret, by the way, would you?
No problem.
Number 3.
What do we got? What do we got?
the headband. Now I'm just
What's
gonna
that?
say it, Avatar.
Oh, when he had the
Oh, yep.
he had the
Of all the movies for Avatar to joyfully rip off,
That
what
is,
a bizarre
yeah,
version
that's a
of
bit weird.
Footloose? Footloose? Aang and the gang have to sneak through the Fire Nation dressed as civilians, but Aang gets picked up
Josh,
by
just so you know,
Squall and
they haven't hit. Realize they haven't hit the Great Divide yet.
Oh, it's number one. It's number one.
Dude, throw a party inviting all the kids and show them it's okay to enjoy yourself, be silly, and of course, even dance. A part of me really laughed that this episode even exists.
That's a really good point.
Lord, Avatar does Footloose. It's just so strange that you know the creators of this just had to do it. But, dude, this is the second episode of the last season, and the last one was pretty heavy.
Oh, that's a really
This
good
is the
point.
follow-up we're given? I mean, yeah,
doing the
okay,
sprinkler.
maybe you need something light after so much drama, but this is
That was
really
pretty funny, though,
and
Sokka.
really friggin' corny.
It just
Yeah,
permanently
I
glued
had
to my
lots of
face.
moments, but this is throwing a prom in the heartland of your enemy. I don't know, isn't this just a little... Really? Footloose? Kevin Bacon ate it a Footloose? On top of doing the obvious follow your dreams message, it does give us a nice chance to see again that not all the Fire Nation is
That is
made
true,
up
I was
of
thinking about that.
prisoners. There are normal people with normal kids, and unlike the ones before, we get to live a bit of that gentleness rather than just see it. It's cute, it's innocent, but if I told someone this was my favorite all-time show and this was the episode they saw, they'd think I was fucking mental. If you like seeing Avatar do Footloose, that's fine. It's not like I can't see why, it's just... Footloose?
It boggles his mind. Sokka in that episode
Number
was so
two!
funny. Number 2!
Bato of the Water Tribe.
Damn it!
When I first saw this, it was my least favorite episode.
I understand.
I felt it went against everything that
I understand.
Aang was. Our team comes
I will
across an
concede.
old friend from the Water Tribe named Bato. As Bato recommends them to look for their father, Aang finds a letter from exactly him, Sokka and Katara's dad. Afraid Sokka and Katara will leave him, he actually hides the letter, destroying the possibility of them being reunited. I couldn't believe it when I saw this episode. This is Aang. Friggin' Aang, who destroyed this opportunity for his two best friends whom he owes everything to, for seeing what's left of their family. It didn't feel like him. I know he's a kid and kids make emotional mistakes, but they've established him as being smart and sensitive. He grows up in an environment that is nothing but this. With everything that Aang's character seemed and what he was taught, this just didn't seem like him. It seemed downright alien. Even Sokka and Katara seemed a little harsher than usual, but to be fair, it's kind of hard to blame them. This was a pretty big deal. Now, with that said, there are a lot of good elements looking back on it again. We got to meet June the bounty hunter, there was still some awesome fighting, and it does, I guess, cement them as a family unit. It's the only time, though, I've ever seen this character not feel like the character. Which, I suppose is good, seeing how lots of shows make that mistake often, and this one only slips up once. Some good fighting, and still an overall good message, but, man, I will never get that choice. And the number one worst episode of... Oh, who are you kidding? You know it's The Great Divide.
Yeah, it is!
Yep, the universally hated episode by practically every Avatar
Even in the
fan.
Ember Island players,
Much
they made
to
fun
the
of
grand
it.
Story, it doesn't further much character, and it's considered by many to be a complete waste of time. So, is it really as bad as all that? Well, let's take a look at the setup. Two feuding tribes find they have to cross through a canyon called the Great Divide, and Aang decides to help them through it. Trying constantly to be the peacekeeper, all the tribes can do is bicker, complain, shout, yell, and blame each other for everything. And I hope you're a fan of that, because that is literally what takes up the majority of the episode. After listening to, 24 minutes of this, Aang finally lets them know that their feuding was all based on a bogus history. That this great big warring feud was actually based on two little kids fighting over a ball. And that's actually a pretty funny idea. The tribes decide there's no reason to hate each other, and that the honor they were fighting for can be reached if they all decide to forgive. The catch? Aang is a fucking liar.
Lying. What? I made the whole thing up. You did not. That is so wrong.
Now where's that custard tart?
And good lord, remember how we talked about breaking character in the last one? Where in the peaceful airbending philosophy of balance and truth does it say just make shit up?
They taught him lying. The Air Nomads taught him to lie.
They'll never figure out what actually happened.
I know.
So that's mostly complaining and arguing, even among the main characters, but you also have what would have been a clever message about prejudice reduced down to if someone's a racist, lie your ass off. Sheesh, we could have had something if Aang just stopped talking and the two separated, but straight up making up a story explaining years of real hurt? This is a weird message they're trying to convey. I'm not even sure what you're supposed to take out of it. Sometimes lying is good, the needs of the short-term solution outweigh the needs of the long-term solution. The truth will set you free only when it's convenient. This episode was so hated that even in the series recap, they act out the scene pretending like it never happened.
Look, it's the Great Divide, the biggest canyon in the Earth Kingdom.
Let's keep flying.
It's clunky, it's misguided, it's confused. Much like the Great Divide, it's a great mess.
Let's keep flying.
But even with that said, I still don't think it's a bad episode. Because I still stand by that there are no bad episodes. Even at its weakest, Avatar was fantastic. Because no matter what, it always had great characters, great story, great animation, and the ability to take children and adults 100% seriously. It's a show unlike any other we've ever seen. Yes, there's a lot of things that aren't good in The Great Divide, but the animation is still great. I still like following these characters. I still like hearing their performance. I still want to see where the story is gonna go. That's the incredible whole that the show has. Even when it's not great, there's still great things in it. And that's why Avatar will always be one of a kind.
Fuck yes.
And seeing this is all about keeping the brand balance, it only makes sense next week to do the top 11 greatest Avatar episodes.
There you go.
There. Will that calm you the fuck down?
I don't know, Critic. There's still 2 minutes left in the time bar. Something could still go wrong.
Yeah, like there's somebody out there who could possibly do something bad to you.
Oh, yeah. What are people gonna do? Complain on message boards? Write mean comments? Show me one person who would actually be crazy enough to cause me physical harm because of this list.
Where are we going?
Dante Bosco.
Yeah, he's in the next episode.
Sir, I just received word from the Avatar fanbase. They say the Nostalgia Critic has disgraced the franchise by doing a top 11 worst episodes list. How do you wish to respond?
He wants to get back his honor. Or the show's honor.
Tell them I'll be arriving in 1 week's time. And I look forward to winning back the fan base. Forever.
Yes, sir, Dante Bosco.
The guy in the back, you get to go, Dante Bosco, just so you know who this guy was. Nostalgia Critic versus Dante Bosco. You know what's insane? You know what's insane about listening to Dante Bosco in real life is that he both sounds and doesn't sound like Zuko.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's pretty common with actors, especially voice actors, because some of them manipulate their voice a little bit. Have you ever seen the voice actor for SpongeBob?
I'm not talking about the sound. Dante Bosco sounds exactly like Zuko, but what he's saying, it doesn't match up with what Zuko. That's what I mean. Like, have you ever watched? You never watched American Dragon Jake Long. You go watch American Dragon Jake Long, and you're gonna be like, it's gonna be so disorienting because he's all like, "Hey, what up? Am Dragon his house?"
I can't deal with that.
I can't go back. Not after watching this.
You know what throws me for a loop?
What?
Is when you have actors who are playing in like a normal accent in a movie or TV show, but when they're like doing like a behind the scenes like interview with them, they have an accent, and it's just like, what the hell?
Like John Boyega.
An example I can think of is a character who played Walter O'Brien in Scorpion, the TV show. It only lasted 4 seasons.
I never watched. I know what you're talking about. Oh wait, no, I do know what you're talking about. We watched like the first episode.
I can't remember his name. Elias Gabel something, I think.
I'm trying to think of a better example. Tom Holland. There you go. Tom Holland. Great example.
Oh yeah, I've heard him. Yeah, that's a good example too. Anyways, actually, okay, one more, then we'll get back to the video topic.
Okay.
Daniel Radcliffe from Harry Potter.
Well, he does have a British accent.
Yeah, but you don't... here's what I feel. I mean, he definitely has one in the movies when he's playing Harry Potter, but you definitely really, really hear it in, like, interviews.
Wait, like he tones it down for the movie?
That's what I perceive.
I don't know. I've never
He's actually even using, like, that English lingo. Like, in one of his interviews, he actually said bloke.
All right, back to this.
Fine bloke, though.
Back to the list. Yeah, I forgot about Painted Lady. Throw that on the list. Okay, so about, like, the Waterbending Master episode, I kind of took it as, like, oh, it's just a different cultural thing. It's just a cultural thing, you know? I didn't take it as, like, oh, look, it's girl power. I didn't think it was, like, a girl power episode or anything like that. But he does kind of make a point about, like, every time you point it out, you become, like, a statistic. Like, pointing it out makes you part of the statistic or something like that. But, I mean, that's kind of a good point.
I need a drink.
You thought he was talking about the blind bandit when it cut to that?
I was about to be like, what the hell?
It did not even faze me because I was like, I was just so far there's no way he can be talking about this. Oh my god. Yeah, and then I remember the only thing that he kind of makes a really good point about the Footloose episode. That one's kind of crazy. But I think Sokka in that episode saves it. Like, hello, I'm Wang Fire, and this is my wife, Sapphire. And it's just like, Sokka, you can take that beard off now. I cannot. It is permanently glued to my face.
He should have left it permanently glued to his face.
He made a really good point about the Boiling Rock episode. Like, why is it 2 parts?
I mean, yeah, when that episode showed up, I was like, I actually enjoy the Boiling Rock, but the fact that it's 2 parts, yeah, that is kind of weird.
It is a little weird, yeah. Okay. I was kind of surprised to see Serpent's pass on here. I didn't think it was great. It's probably just a little by the numbers. Yeah, it is. I guess he does kind of make a really good point. It just felt like leftovers. But I mean, it does. And then yeah, the whole plot with Zuko in that episode was just getting food. I think it was partially just there to like move the story along. And then there's Jet.
Okay, so what was it? Boiling Rock, Serpent's Pass, Jet.
I was gonna write Jet in the list, but I didn't because I was like, part of me was like, how can I call that a bad episode when it introduces Jet? And I actually like Jet in book 2, but I'm like, nah, I should have put it down because I don't like this episode that much. I mean, the only reason, okay, we say that we don't like them, but the only reason that that episodes like these hurt is because the rest of the show is so goddamn good, and it hurts to take we gotta take some of the bad with the good.
Josh, stop. The Nostalgia Critic said at the beginning he doesn't believe that there are bad episodes. They're just, if you had to choose the episodes that had to be at the bottom of the tier, he's picking these ones. Are you saying you think these episodes are actually bad?
Not bad, but some of them annoy me.
Are you just saying that to avoid bad comments?
Yes.
Tear him a new one, guys.
No!
Tear him a new one.
Don't touch me. Okay, and then he mentioned Secret Tunnel, and yeah, fucking hippies. But he made a really good point, and this is something that always infuriates me because I watch a lot of anime. Like, just you don't need to wait until the end of the show to have them be in a relationship. Have them just be in a relationship, and then you could go on with that. Like I'm watching a romantic comedy right now called Love is War, and it's fucking infuriating because the whole show is based around 2 people who like each other, and they're trying to get the other person to confess first. And it's like just fucking do it. And then you could still have so much comedy about them like doing couple things. It could be so funny, but no, you are just stuck. If you watch
would you say it's suspenseful?
Oh fuck! Oh, like Love is War? Oh fuck yes! There was this
one. That's why they're doing it.
Yeah.
Suspense is golden.
There was this one
media.
There was this one episode where I was just like, where like one of them said something, and it was like a huge, like big. What was it? It was a fucking power move, and I was like, whoo, fucking heated. But like, oh my god, that is the snafu of watching any romantic comedy anime or any harem anime. It's just you're just waiting and you are stuck. Oh, my throat hurts from screaming. Right, and then after one, oh my god, the next one is Sokka's Master. You really like this episode.
I did.
I kind of made.
I mean, it's not okay. You say it's worse because it's trying to like show. What was it that it said about Sokka?
It said like it was trying to show that he's useful, but like I said this in the podcast.
We all know he was useful. I mean,
yeah, like
he starts out as a comic relief, and the only actual warrior in his tribe.
Well, that one. Well, I mean, the one that was left because the rest of them went to war. I mean, he has growth, but like I never before watching in the show, I thought Sokka was gonna be like just comic relief. I didn't think that. I thought that all the other characters were gonna have to pick up the slack for him. But no, watching this show, I stopped thinking that because he could fucking hold his own.
Look, I mean, he's definitely comic relief, but he's more than that. I mean, I never for once thought otherwise.
But like, it's like like what he said. It's like they did this episode because he said it felt like they were expecting like backlash from the fans that never happened because we fucking love Sokka.
Actually, that reminds me. Someone on TikTok said, what happens when you combine cute with hot?" And what they were doing for cute, they had Aang. For hot, they had Zuko. And then they did a fusion and they created Sokka.
Oh jeez.
I was like, what the heck?
All right, yeah, I think we talked about the rest of these. Yeah, Bato the Water Tribe, and then Great Divide. Ew. All right, yeah, I'm ready to end the episode. Let's move on. Let's not talking about the bad because I don't want to be a negative person because I love this fucking show.
It's not bad. It's the worst.
The worst. Yes.
Still good, but not. But like the bottom.
I just say bad.
Bottom of the barrel for these episodes.
I just said bad because it was easier. All right, let's do it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm Josh.
I'm Jace.
We'll see you guys in the top 11 best. Goodbye.